Tell us a little bit more about this partnership, because I would say the Uber app is pretty good. Why do you need anything else?
The Uber app is great. The reason you need something else is because you want to find people where they have an intent to travel or to go somewhere. So when you're in Facebook Messenger, you're kind of talking to your friends and they're saying, hey, let's go to dinner tonight and here's a location. And then the experience ends for Facebook Messenger there. And then they flip out into the Uber app. So I'm going to take them in partnership with Facebook and go right from that experience to getting an Uber inside the Facebook Messenger thread. And then you're going to get updates about your ride in that Facebook Messenger thread so you never have to leave there.
How does the partnership work, though? Who makes money here?
Well, hopefully what happens is that they ride on Uber. And maybe that's their first experience or their second. They keep riding on Uber, and that's how everyone makes money.
Well, why does Facebook want to do it?
Because the Facebook Messenger experience, which, by the way, 700 million people in the world use every month, they want to have a more rich experience for their riders.
So it just makes Facebook stickier. They're not taking part of your revenue.
We're talking about the financials, but what is interesting is when you see in the future is you'll be able to see where all your friends are on your way to a restaurant. So you know when you go to a restaurant and the one person's there because the whole party's not there, no one's going to be that guy or gal anymore. Everyone's going to show up at the same time because you're going to be able to track everyone inside Messenger on their way to a restaurant.
This is your vertical at Uber. You control, you drive the partnerships. At this point, everybody wants to do business with Uber. Talk about how big your partnership business is.
So I started at the company about 2.5 years ago. I have one partnership guy who'd sort of dropped out of college and said, I'm going to go work at Uber. So I started with him. Now I've got about 60 people around the world in 5 continents working on all kinds of partnerships with Baidu Search in China, with Tata Motors in India, with Starwood in the US, American Express, Hilton, you name it.
What percentage of your revenue comes from these partnerships?
Well, I think you're talking about getting into double-digit percentages of these partnerships sort of and their impact on our business. And they're more important in countries that are not our home country. When you go to India, having a partnership with sort of the local players there really matters.
If you're in double digits, what's the rate of growth?
It's grown as fast as I could add people. And as fast as we can integrate new technologies. The integrations, to make them really slick, you got to spend time on them. And we got to iterate on this Facebook thing until it's really slick.
When we talk rate of growth, we've got to talk about Uber's growth. Whether we say there's Uber competitors out there, you have gotten so big, so fast. Maybe your competitors are changing. Yesterday, Google announced in 2016, next year, out of Alphabet company, they're going to be putting out a fleet of driverless cars. And part of the intent is to compete against you. What do you make of this?
You know, they're an investor in Uber. They invested in us 2 years, 3 months ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was big news at the time because they thought what we did was interesting.
So interesting that now they're going to try to do it themselves?
Well, I think in this day and age, with companies as big as they are and as big as we're becoming, there's some areas you compete and some areas you cooperate in. So we still cooperate with them on Google Maps. If you open Google Maps today, you'll see an Uber button there. So there's things we do together.
Could they end that partnership, though? In a year, when they've got driverless cars, can they say, thanks, but no thanks, we'll be taking Google Maps back?
I guess they could, but driverless cars is a long ways away to get the tech right, to get the regulations right, and then to produce driverless cars.
So let me ask the question a different way. Could it go the other way so they're not actually competing with you, but you actually join up?
It could be. Like, you always want to keep your options open to partner with companies that are doing interesting things. So I think we'll do that.
You've hired some robotics experts from Carnegie Mellon. Tell me about that. Why?
What are they going to do?
What they're focused on in Pittsburgh, and it's a great team. When you meet these people, they're really some of the best in the world. They're going to make sure that in a driverless car world, that'll happen at some point, that we are a leader there. And so robotics is a part of making a driverless car work.
It seems like your business model could change, though. If you end up with a fleet of cars, who owns them?
It's a great question. I mean, I think what we would prefer is to be a lot of options for driverless cars, and there'd be a rich, competitive market there, and then we'll have them on our system, and we'll have different ownership models. But it's so far away, I'm not thinking about that.
Or on the ownership model front, I think about Lyft, I think about Via. You want to buy those?
We haven't done those kind of M&A things because
but you
could. one could think we always could, but for us, it's about building and sort of devoting ourselves to making sure that we're the best in the world at what we do. So every day I wake up trying to do that.